The story was really impressive. Anthony Neeson is a real estate agent, and most people know that about him, but he has been in property management for longer than you may have known. If you want to hear Anthony's story and how he overcame obstacles and built a business that is built for success, check out this conversation with Anthony Neeson. All right, well, welcome to the show. Today we've got my good friend Anthony Neeson on the podcast, and I got my co-host Lauren Navarre here.
Hello.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yep. We're excited to do your first podcast. First time being on camera ever. I can't believe that I get to be the honors of doing that.
Well, being interviewed, I'm usually the interviewee. So.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be fun. So we're going to start with talking a little bit about Anthony before we go into your dealings with property management and the system that you operate your business in. So you've been doing this for a long time. I was unaware that you've been doing this for so long, right?
Yeah, stumbled into it.
You look so youthful. That 23 years of being in business that seems shocking to me.
Yeah, well, I'm working on it, so it's a lot of work to stay this good looking. I'll stick with you there, sir.
If that's your value, you got to keep showing up.
I wish that was the value. Yeah, I've been doing this a long time. I stumbled into it though. So I was 24 and I moved to Hammond to teach at Southeastern, and wanted to get a house. I moved into an apartment, and that was not fun.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get a house. I wanted to get a new truck. Wanted to get a dog, and I got those things, and then attracted a girlfriend, which was fantastic. Later became my wife, and realized that I wanted some extra space. Mm-hmm. So there was an empty lot next to the house that I bought, and I reached out to the guy, tracked him down, and said, "Hey, I'm interested in buying your property." And at the closing table, I found out that there was an apartment on it. And I didn't know that. And I said, I argued with the guy. I said, "There's really not." He goes, No, there is. I said, "There's not. There's a shed." He goes, "Yeah, above the shed." I said, "There's an apartment above the shed." He goes, "Yeah." I said, "How big is that?" He said, "It's 400 square feet." He said, "There's someone living there." So I went back after closing, knocked on the door, and said, "Hey, man, my name's Anthony. I just bought this place. Apparently, I'm your landlord. I have no idea what that means."
I'm 12.
Right.
High five.
Yeah, and he said, "Well, that's cool." I said, I guess we got to figure this out." And he said, "Well, I kind of want to move out." I said, "Cool. When can you move out?" He said, "I can be out Saturday." I said, "Fantastic."
400 square feet is not a bunch of stuff to get out.
Right. I don't know you anything.
Short-term lease, 1 week.
Yeah, you don't know me anything. Let's just call it good. He said, "Fantastic." So he moved out. I went in and said, "Man, 400 square feet. I can put a couple $100 in this and make it nice." So I did, stuck a sign in the yard, and had my first tenant.
Nice.
And been off and running since then.
You still own that property?
I actually ended up selling it. We call it the shack.
Yeah.
It was an ugly brown shed. And that property has literally led to everything that I have
Which all started
in real estate.
with getting a girlfriend. So props to your
100%.
wife,
Yeah.
who is the reason.
We
now-
actually bought that property together while we were still dating.
Wow.
And I borrowed $3,000 from my brother-in-law
Against legal advice, huh?
against legal
You
advice.
went and did that before
Yeah.
marriage.
Yeah. So with a person I had no real tie to and $3,000 that wasn't mine, but that property started everything that I have with real estate and where I am in my businesses today.
So that is, how quickly? 'Cause I mean, you said you were coaching at Southeastern. What were you coaching?
So I was actually teaching there. So I
Teaching.
taught in the athletic training department, kinesiology,
Cool.
emergency medicine, that kind of stuff.
I think there's some people that we actually know that you taught in college. I remember seeing somebody who was like, "Yeah, this is my professor in college," but that thing
Yeah.
We're
also.
like, no, he
Yeah,
does
there's
real
no-
estate.
yeah.
What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
and they're all the same age as me.
Yeah.
So my first class that I walked into, 8 of the people in there were older than I was.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. So how quickly after that did you pick up your second property?
Missy, that's my wife. At the time, she had another property, and she was just letting friends or family stay in it. And I asked her if she was getting any rent. She said no. I said, well, that changes. So we went and converted that one over, turned that one into a rental, and then just steadily kind of started picking them up. So one of the interesting things that a lot of people talk about in getting into investment properties is they don't think about the money and how to get it. And I know most of the people that are probably listening to your podcast know Brandon Turner from Bigger Pockets.
Yeah.
And he said a long time ago, it's never about the resources. It's always about being resourceful.
Yeah.
So Missy and I ended up buying our portfolio, the beginning of it, on a teacher and a social worker's salary.
Nice.
So it's about being smart with the finances and getting into it. So
Yeah.
Intentional, knowing what
Absolutely.
you want, making sacrifices.
and
The very simple things that are so hard for people to do.
well, doing the background work, right? So
Yeah.
we've bought several on bond for deed, and I've chased properties, over. I've got 3 of them now that each one of them took me 5 years to follow up with to get.
Yeah.
So you got to put in the time and do the follow up.
Yeah. Being persistent. I mean,
Yeah, 100%.
yeah. Consistent and persistent. It's like everybody sees you holding the goal in your hand, but they didn't see all those different times that you were chipping away trying to get there. And then how many times you were so close that you could have quit because it was freaking hard, but you kept pushing through it. I mean, I can't tell how many times I'm in the shower at night thinking like, do I really want to do this again tomorrow? You know, but like you just keep pushing through that because you know the purpose that you have and the goals you've set and the people you're doing it with, it all makes sense, even though there are moments where you're just like, this is difficult.
Yeah. Well, the last one I just got, I paid the utility bill for 5 years because I had to keep the power on to keep it status. And there were several times that Missy turned the power off and I had to go, no, turn it back on. Like the next thing just came through. Yeah. And she's like, really? I'm like, yes, really. So it's those things you just got to stick with them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So 23 years ago, you bought that property, started property management.
Yep.
Right. And so, you have to have a real estate license to do property management for other people.
Right.
And so was that the catalyst for getting your real estate license?
It was after years of not knowing that, and
Well,
yeah. So I actually,
there.
I got into the sales part because I got really tired of other people getting the deals.
Yeah.
So I'd see them posted and I'd call about them, but I was going through like the Zillows and the realtors, and they would tell me, "Oh, that already closed," or this person got it, and I got really tired of him getting all the deals.
Yeah.
So I said, "I'm gonna go get my license." And in the process of the schooling, I learned, "Oops, my bad." Like I've been operating outside of the legal rules for property management for a few years now. So that I got it as fast as I could.
Yeah. So
and got up above board on that 100%.
And then I mean I know you mostly from the sales agency side and how you've kind of have 3 different legs of your company, right? We talked a little bit about that earlier. You have the property management, which is your foundation, but also you do some real estate transactions as an agent.
Sure.
And you have a team of people and you operate a system. And we talk a lot about, again, most agents don't operate their business like a business, right? And that sets people apart whenever they can operate a real estate business like a business because they're going to be light years ahead of people and they're going to get there faster and they're going to be more consistent.
Yeah.
As a real estate agent, having a team and operating that, balancing that with the property management, how does your team operate and how do you do that so efficiently and be able to do all that at the same time?
Yeah, I think it's a learning thing every day, and when we stumble, and we all do, it's stepping back and looking at it again. So for example, like looking at our lease, we literally sat down as a team yesterday and went back through our lease document and reread it to make sure there's no typos and it all makes sense and anything new that we want to add or take away from it. Yeah. Right. So we looked at that from a property management standpoint. That bleeds into our sales. So we closed a couple $1 million worth of property in June that were a direct reflection of the property management company providing opportunities for the sales team. So operationally, I think you've got to sit down and you've got to spend some time planning out your operations. And that's where most real estate agents fail is we get a lot of people who get into real estate and they just function as a salesperson. Yeah. And they run as hard and as fast as they can because they're trying to make as much as they can, right? And then they get on that real estate roller coaster. Most real estate agents are not business owners. And that's where we do a disservice to a lot of them and we treat them and say, hey, you're the CEO of your company. Well, they don't have a company. They just happen to be the salesperson. So stepping back, getting your systems, documenting them out, and then going back and touching base with them and having that touchstone to make sure it's still going the way that you want it to. We do that better than a lot of people.
So as a coach, right? We'll get into that in a second.
Sure.
But also as a future owner of a real estate company, right? What does that offer to your clients? I think people miss that boat, right? Like I'm a salesperson, I have relationships, and they don't understand how much value it brings to their clients and their reputation as a business person when they have worked on their system, the operating system. Like what do y'all do? What does that do for your clients?
So I think it gives you peace of mind, right? People want to work with experts. People want to know that you understand their problems and have had some experience with those and have a solution that you can provide, as opposed to you're just a great personality and this is going to be fun to work with you.
I've known you for a long time, so that's why I'm going to use
You're
you.
my best buddy, and like I really need to sell this house.
Yeah.
So having a system of how are you following up with your listings? We're not in a market anymore where you can stick a sign in it and pray to God that you're going to get multiple offers. It's going to sit. So like we have a listing right now, average days on market in their area is 53 days. Just knowing average days on market is important. Like that's a first step.
Setting expectations.
Set the expectations for your clients. Do your homework. Be an analyst. Do your research. Know the things that you need to know to be the expert, because if your client's the most educated person in the transaction, you have a problem. Yeah. And they have access to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
They've got Google. They have AI. They can do a lot of the research on their own, and they will.
Yeah.
So if you don't know what you're talking about and don't have the plan to take them from where they are to where they want to go, you're of little or no value to them.
Yeah. So also, I mean, again, I'm probably asking you some more direct questions than I would somebody else, because you do have a team and you do coach.
Sure.
As a client looking at somebody with a real estate team, I think some people and agents have the perspective that I have to do this myself. I have to take control. Like when your clients work with you, they get a whole team. It's not just Anthony.
100%.
So like, what value does having a team bring, and how do you establish that relationship with not only you but with the team that you have?
So I think it goes back to making sure you set the expectations. If you want me to be the answer for everything, that's a terrible plan.
Yeah.
Right? Because I can't be everything to everybody at all times.
Mm-hmm.
So making sure that we diversify that knowledge base and who's in charge of what allows you to get the best service possible.
Yeah.
So when you need to talk to somebody about the ownership side of the property management, or you need to talk to them about the tenant side, or like we have our online portal system where you're reporting your numbers, like having the different people and the different system and the different components in place allows you to have a more complete experience, as opposed to I just have to call Joe Schmo and he has to be everything to everybody and wear all the hats.
Yeah.
There's no way to do that effectively.
For sure, 100%. So before we wrap up, learn more about you and telling the audience about who you are, I want to talk about the coaching side. Okay. Because, we talk about being learning-based, right? You're a Keller Williams agent. You've been at Keller Williams for a long time. They're always promoting being learning-based, always trying to be a better agent, and I love that about the culture. I feel like being a coach to other realtors allows you to constantly be learning based, because everything's changing all the time and you're teaching them the newest trends, right? And what's going on and how they can be better at their job. So tell about the coaching program, and how does that better you as a realtor?
It forces you to stay up to date on what's happening. So, like I said, I came to Louisiana and was a teacher at 24. So walking into a room where, like, I'm barely out of school. I'm the age of the people in there. And like I said, a lot of the people were older than me. I had to stay one step ahead. And then at one point I was a high school teacher. And if you want to live anywhere in fear, be in the front of a classroom of high school kids. Because if you don't know what you're doing, they're going to eat your lunch. So you always have to stay ahead. So from the real estate standpoint and the coaching standpoint, I've had the benefit of being on the leadership track with Keller Williams since I joined. Literally joined full-time in August of 2019 with KW, and September 1st was put on leadership. So I've had the benefit of all of the leadership courses. I've taken most of the curriculum. I'm a Keller Williams instructor for nationally. So when I start digesting all of that information, I'm taking it to say, well, how can this benefit all of my clients? Some of those are sales. Some of those are property management clients. And a lot of them are the other agents that I have the privilege of coaching. So I'm always taking in that information and saying, how can I get this out to a Jared that is going to benefit him and his business? Because what I do for a living is help build other people's businesses. Yeah. That's the same in property management. It's changing the family trees of people from the sales standpoint, but building the businesses for any agent I work with so they get to achieve the things that they want to achieve. That's why it's important for me to stay learning based. Yeah. I've got 700 books in my office, right? They're there for a reason. They're not decoration.
Yeah.
Love books.
Yeah. I think
Same
it's great.
on our end.
I don't, again, like Lauren said earlier, it's funny how we have similar tracks. I mean, we've got our hands in a lot of things, but all the things that we have our hands in are all within our arm's reach of what our main gift is and what we're trying to do. It's just adding other revenue streams, which is what we're all here to do, but also, like you said, making an impact on
expanding your impact.
on other
Expanding
people.
your reach. I just want to clarify one point because I feel like coaching is such a broad term, and it can apply in so many different ways. So, are you doing mindset coaching, accountability coaching, or you're actually getting into the structure of the business and the operating system for these agents?
It depends on who it is. So when I'm dealing with the brand new agents, we know that our gaps are coming from 3 areas: mindset, skill set, and accountable actions. That's it. Everything else falls into those 3.
In every industry.
In every industry, right?
Not just real estate.
No, 1,000%. So we do a lot of mindset coaching in the beginning because if we can't get the mindset right, it doesn't matter all the things that you learn.
I
You're
always
going to burn
joke
out.
in small business, which real estate is, if your mind's not right, your business ain't going to be right.
No, and it's going to fail quickly. So we do a lot of mindset coaching. My other top agents, like I coach different levels. So we get more into the accountable actions because the skill set part isn't really coaching, it's training. It's just teaching somebody what they don't know.
Yeah.
And everybody getting into real estate and those who've been in it for a while, like that's where we gravitate to. I need to learn how to do the thing. I don't know how to do a short sale, or I don't know how to do a bond for deed, or I don't know how to write a contract as a new agent. Those are the easiest things to do.
Right.
My 11-year-old could sell a house. Okay, he could do the basic skills of real estating. It's the nuance and the rest of that that sets the people apart as being great or not great.
Right.
So we coach to the whole person. I love it when I get to have somebody who's not in real estate. I coach other businesses too. I don't have to know your business. I just need to know business.
Right.
So I can get in, make you better at what you're doing. I have a lady right now who owns a salon. Our first meeting, I said, look, I'm going to make you more money in your salon, to the point that you may question whether or not you really want to do real estate at a high level, because just by doing a couple tweaks that I know work, we're going to make you more money doing this.
Especially if you sit down with them and their passion is being a hairdresser or owning a salon, not doing real estate. Because I always feel like people dip or they get excited about the idea of real estate. And then when I meet with them, because they come to us often because, we're one of their resources as a title company. And I'm just like, is this a passion of yours? And I don't want to talk them out of it, but you want to point them in a direction that you watch them succeed.
Absolutely.
So I think it's really cool that you have the ability to do that.
Yeah. The missing piece for a lot of people is that leverage piece. Finding, like we were talking about earlier, of finding the people and having a team, whether or not you're paying for it or not.
Right.
You have a team. So what piece are you holding on to just because you want to hold on to it, that you immediately need to go, that's not my thing, and let somebody else do that, because I'll be able to do my thing better.
Yeah. And I I've had so many of these conversations recently with realtors who have a side job in real estate when really their real estate is their side job, and they get business that is generated from whatever their thing is, being a hairdresser or a salon or working at a restaurant. Like the relationships you build from that are usually the ones that are going to be the first 15 transactions you do as a real estate agent.
Sure.
And then as soon as you get 15 transactions under your belt, you're like, I don't need this one anymore. And now your lead source dries up and you have to go actually be a realtor. And as opposed to like,
Right.
Stay doing that and find leverage, and don't feel like you have to do the whole transaction yourself. Don't be short sighted. Keep doing that part of it. Generate the relationships and the leads, and then find a way to plug that into a bigger system that's not all related to you.
Well, everybody gets distracted by the big check.
Yeah.
And they forget all of the time and effort that goes into that and the hours behind the scenes.
Right.
Well, why not just refer that?
Yeah.
Get a smaller check to do nothing.
Yeah.
Like one conversation, like, hey, I need you to help my person. Great. Person needs you to meet this person. Great.